The Fall Guy might be the biggest surprise of the summer, and in all honesty, it might be the biggest surprise of the year. What's up, you guys? It's Jonathan Carter, and today we are going to be talking about The Fall Guy.
We need to keep it super profesh.
Cool. Do you want to make out?
The Fall Guy is the newest movie starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, hot off of the Oscars. Ryan Gosling obviously for Ken, and Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, which was my favorite movie of last year. So let's kick this review off with the positives. Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling are on fire here. They are incredible together. The chemistry that they have, that they bounce off of each other with, you can tell these are like Oscar winning actors. They know what they're doing. The blend that this movie has of action, comedy, romance, it really just creates the perfect storm to be the perfect date night movie. There's everything in here for like all kinds of people. You want the action, you got the action. You want the comedy, you have Ryan Gosling here in a kind of role almost like The Nice Guys, which if you have not seen, go check it out.
Deep breath.
Back to what we were talking about. It's that kind of comedy with The Nice Guys. Emily Blunt also has superb comedic timing. And then you have the romance, like rom-com balance of it, right? Every part, like all three of those checkpoints are just written so well. This script is hilarious. The Fall Guy follows a guy who is trying to rekindle his love for stuntmanship while also rekindling his love for a director on this massive movie. So he signs up to be a stunt guy for this film. She is, his ex-love is the director, in which he knows, so it kind of rekindles this relationship, this will they, won't they for the whole movie thing. But then within that, there is this kind of mystery of where the main actor of this movie, with inside a movie, like Inception style, where he's gone missing. And so Ryan Gosling is, yes, like hired to be a stuntman on this movie, but he's really hired to go and find the main actor in this film. Speaking of the main actor in this film, or in the movie within a movie, Aaron Taylor Johnson, he was also like, it's such a surprise here. I've loved Aaron Taylor Johnson since the Kick-Ass days. Truly, like, everybody in this film is doing such a good job. Go see it. I could not recommend this more. Bringing us into the mixed category, like all action rom-com movies, by the end, it kind of like, it has to make a big third act, right? So it kind of does go a little over the top with some of its like set pieces, but I think it plays it well enough to where there's still the balance of that romantic relationship and the comedy, where you're kind of just like, okay, yeah, this is gonna happen, and it doesn't really make that much sense, and it is a little cheesy, and not every joke lands, but it's still like, you can still believe it, and nothing pulls you out of the movie. It's nothing like eye-rolling like the later Fast and Furious movies, like nobody goes to space or anything like that. There is a tad, it does walk that line of like, we're gonna go a little further than anybody really could believe. And closing this review out with the negatives, those action set pieces I was talking about in the mixed category, three of them specifically, actually. There's one in the middle, and then there's one like getting into the third act of the film, where both happen and you're like, okay, yeah, that couldn't really happen, but also like, it's happening in the city, it's happening around people. There are like no police, there's nobody like filming it for news. Like, it's just like happening in the city, and like people are just driving around it, or like walking down the street around this like giant thing that's happening. That's like, that would not happen. There are two set pieces like that, and then the very last one, like I talked about in the third act, does go a little bigger than it should. You're like, okay, like we're getting a little far from the main premise of this movie. Other than that, this is a solid film and truly super enjoyable. Like, straight up, bruh, this movie is a banger. I'm sorry. Finishing this one out, Fall Guy was such a pleasant surprise, and a movie I was not thinking I would enjoy as much as I did. I'm gonna give The Fall Guy an 8 out of 10. And on a see it, stream it, or skip it, I'm gonna go with see it. Also, a little side note, there's just this little clip kind of thing at the end that it's just like truly hilarious. It's totally unexpected, and also just this movie being a love letter to stuntmen in cinema and in Hollywood, like filmmaking, all that, was just like a fresh, genuine take. And I feel like stuntmen should be recognized more in the work that they do. Anyways, be sure to follow me on social media, like and subscribe. That would really, really help me out a lot. Thanks y'all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.